Griffin now with a head of steam. Looks for the cutter. Kuliza gets one to go.
Second and third now for Bedford. That's a line drive single. And Charlie Cariello now strikes out Ryan Stramp.
Draws the double, re-dodges, beautiful, and scores. Stick quickly. Purnell drives righty. Shoots, scores.
That is it. Bedford is your girls lacrosse champion. The Bulldogs are champs once again.
And welcome to Bedford, New Hampshire. Bedford High School. Beautiful spring afternoon. We are creeping into the high 60s, low 70s today. The Bedford boys lacrosse team will be taking on the visiting Exeter Bluehawks. My name is Corey Munster-Tiger. I'm joined in the booth today by two of my colleagues. Phenomenal to have Jay Abendroth back, former Syracuse player, captain back in 2000, was it?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, several years ago.
Decades.
As well as Todd Koss, joined me on the previous broadcast. New Hampshire lacrosse legend and assistant to the Riviere head coach, Jay Deli. Welcome in, boys. Going to have a phenomenal tilt this afternoon. They played just last week on the 8th, and Bedford took home, actually came from behind late in that game and took home a 12-11 victory after coming back in the last 30 seconds and scoring 2 goals. Todd, thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it was tight. I expect another tight matchup today. I don't want to say it's a toss-up, but I think it is two very evenly matched squads here, really trying to take over domination for New Hampshire, I guess. So we'll see.
Domination, that's an exciting word. I mean, granted, we'd have to give that domination tribute to BG over the past 5 years. They haven't lost an in-state game since then. However, these two teams are vying for playoff positioning, as well as potentially that domination as well.
Right.
Jay, thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think it's, run it back. Exeter actually was leading at halftime last game, but as they say, right, second half of the season, you got to be playing well. So big test for the Bulldogs if they can carry the momentum and continue on dominating, if you will, the Bluehawks here.
Bedford brings in a record of 11-1. Their only loss coming on April 23rd against Bishop Girton, who we were talking about. That was a double overtime thriller that the Bulldogs actually had a chance to win late in that game. Unfortunately missed the net on a shot from the crease. BG came down their next possession and finished the game. Exeter brings in a record of 9-4. One of those losses is to Portsmouth. That was the misspoken word right there. They lost to them back on April 24th, 7-11. And then 2 days later, they lost to Bishop Girton 11-8. Followed that up with another loss to BG on May 3rd. That was a broader margin, 17-8. And then, of course, the Bedford game that we talked about just last week on the 8th. So they've had some solid scores throughout. Comparative scores are going to tell us that this is going to be a phenomenal game, and last week's result is going to illustrate the same. We'll take a brief timeout for the national anthem and rejoin you for Division I boys lacrosse here from Bedford High School. And we're getting ready for the face-off here between the Bulldogs and the Bluehawks. Again, I'm Corey Munster-Tiger, joined in the booth by Todd Koss and Jay Abendroth. We're on BCTV channel HD 1072 and also streaming for Blue Hawk Media today on YouTube. Todd?
Last time we were on BCTV was the Marblehead game, I believe.
The Magicians.
The Magicians, which was a bit of an easy game for Bedford, but I was expecting with the matchup tonight a little bit more of a crowd here in Bedford. With two top teams in the state being here, hopefully it'll fill in, but should be a really good game tonight.
We've got some of the youth teams out here ready to play at halftime. That should be some good entertainment. I would say that Exeter did travel pretty well. They do have a decent parent section down here in front of the press box. Teams are at midfield ready for the traditional handshakes. Jay, thoughts to start the game?
Yeah, for me, it's about the face-off acts. We've seen when the Bulldogs played BG, they got kind of taken on the face-off X, and ever since then, Coach Bordeaux has been messing with putting different long sticks on the face-off. I think that beating the, winning the X on the face-off is the key to Bedford's long-term success here in the season.
Yeah, I think in the second half we saw him rotate 2 poles up to each of the wings, so trying to get that more of a 50-50 situation. Dylan Riccio pulls it back for the Bulldogs. Got a good start against Julian Roggles. Potentially threw it away there, but Helton is there to scoop up the loose ball and settle into Bedford's half-field offense. A lot of chatter here early. Again, the Bulldogs fortunate in last week's game. They scored a late goal. They got a penalty late in that game, which gave them a man up. Just 34 seconds left. Matthews here looks to go one-on-one. Great defense. And now Kaliza cuts through the middle, finds the open net. Matthews to Kaliza, and the Bulldogs are up 1-0.
Pretty easy, as they say, pitch and catch here. Drives down the side, little roll back. No one's paying attention on the slide. Cuts down the middle, and again, as we said the last time we were on, if you're that wide open and you can't finish, you're in trouble. Good placement, puts it in the lower corner. Not much Exeter's goalkeeper could do there at all.
A quick feet by Kaliza gave him a little space, got his hands free. Caught it in traffic and finished nicely.
Looks like he drew a double there, and the defense just was a little late to rotate on the slide.
Yeah, I was going to compliment Tanner Smith on his defense, and now the Blue Hawks come away with the ensuing face-off. Great check by Riccio, and the flag comes down. He waited for the hang. Was able to get a check in, but we're going to get a foul, maybe a push from behind.
Maybe they're saying they caught him on the back of the helmet on the way down. I couldn't quite see it. That was good timing.
Oh, yeah, that's the hit. It's the hit afterwards, yeah. So now you like the physical presence, but Kevin Sheridan's going to go in the box and feel shame. And the Blue Hawks will have their first man-up opportunity.
Corey, a little bit of a change here. We've got Ian Fletcher in the goal. I was looking at that in the beginning. Good on Ian, the senior, get a few reps here.
He's provided some solid performances throughout the season, both in starting roles as well as coming in relief as the Blue Hawks fired around the periphery. Feet inside, can't make the connection. Kerr bats it down, and they're going to call the Blue Hawks in the crease. So the Bulldogs pull away. Escape a little bit of a scare here on the first man down situation, and Helton will be the one-man clear.
You'd like to see when you're man up, good look. You'd like to see a little bit better, or that the person receiving the ball in the crease a little more open. A lot of sticks in there. Don't always want to jam the crease when you got an extra guy.
Driving there, Purnell up top. Matthews out left. Just Purnell could have taken another step and looked at the cage himself there. He beat his defender, and you'll see that they're playing Purnell an attackman with a short stick as they're rotating their long sticks up towards the midfield, particularly Matthews and Helton. Master de Casa now. Back up to Matthews. Asks for a pick, now runs away. Looking for Kaliza inside, misses the connection, and the Bulldogs turn it over.
Yeah, I think we've seen over the course of the year, the Bulldogs have a ton of success when they put the ball behind and initiate the offense from back there. They're going to have to do it with both poles up on the two strong middies for Bedford.
Good for Exeter making the adjustment too. Realizing, last game, watching some tape and saying, hey, how do we potentially stop some of this?
Yeah, and I believe they did use that strategy a few times last time. They're basically begging the attackman to try to beat them. And that's where the Bulldogs will need their attackmen to be aggressive, be assertive, look for those dodges if a short stick is guarding them. Shot here bounces off a defender, and the Blue Hawks chase it out on the far sideline. Owen Williams will bring it in from the left wing. Kerr defending. Gives a little poke on that bottom hand. Looks to ISO from behind. Gets the edge, great help. Spencer Hendershon comes over on the slide. Exeter looks up top. Jackson Green here, now near side Delory. Delory gets to the middle, shoots and scores. Just freeing up his hands, little jab step to the outside, gives himself a good angle with the righty high shot. Finds that low left corner.
Pushes him down just a little bit, gets the defenseman off, a little wobbly, cuts to the left, a little hitch back to the right, gets himself from shooting space, downhill, body going towards the cage, bounces it overhand. What more could you want?
Yeah, and you see there, his hands free is the key. No stick on his hands, able to move him around and change planes with a shot. That's a pretty easy one for number 2.
And well placed too. He was 15 yards out, was still able to pick that corner. Fraction on the face-off as White gets pushed out of the restraining box, so they'll pick it up. Fortunate call there for the Bulldogs. And now J.J. Gaffney will get things started. Sam Barron draws the shorty, looks to get the edge, does, tries to finish but misses the cage. Purnell with the backup. That's exactly what I'm talking about with those attackmen challenging the short stick midfielder that's trying to defend on these skilled attackers. Purnell will do the same, feeds the middle. Matthews, shot save. Good save by the keep in tight. Took it off the elbow. That's Ethan Burnich. Eight minutes to go, first quarter. We're knotted at 1. Gaffney now looks to ISO from behind. Graham Knight giving him the business. Nice dodge there, and he finishes. Got high side. Got his stick and hands free like we talked about on the last goal from Evan Delory. And Gaffney finishes.
Yeah, just gets top side on him, gets his, beats him with his shoulders are ahead of him. The slide, the second slide, or the first slide, I should say, just wasn't quick enough to the point of attack. As you said, Jay got his hands free. What more could you want?
Yeah, and I can't tell if Exeter's move to short stick behind, if that's confusing Bedford or not. But it was a good one-on-one play for Gaffney, as you said, getting on top. And a little bit, when you're an attackman, it's a little bit disrespectful when you put a shorty on you. Let's see what Bedford's attackman can do about that.
Absolutely. They should all have a chip on their shoulder. Riccio wins the ensuing face-off. He'll take a shot. Score! Riccio. Can't quite say coast to coast, but start to finish for sure. And Dylan Riccio puts the Bulldogs up 3-1. Dangles it, avoids the check, goes back inside, uses his body well to protect it, finishes low left. Burnich can't catch up to it.
What we've seen from all 4 goals in this game is, like in any lacrosse game, if you can get to 10 yards out with no one on your hands, you should be able to score, and they are. Obviously, defensively, you would have liked a little bit faster slide there to the point of attack to slow that down, but get to that shot on the field, you got to be shooting.
Now Parker O'Toole wins the following face-off for the Bulldogs. Steps it in, still being harassed by Julian Roggles. Double and triple teamed in tight, but Kerr is there, and then he throws it away. Good job on the ground ball, but threw it right back away. Now Sam Barrett chases it down. Kerr, nice over-the-head check. Tough to protect that long pole, and now I think Coach Bordeaux is going to take a timeout to preserve the possession here. It's great coaching right there as the Bulldogs were hustling all over the field.
Yeah, it's real tough to get a long pull off the offensive side when they're making plays. So good for Tristan Kerr. I go back to that goal by Riccio. There's, momentum is a big deal in lacrosse, and having a face-off guy take it coast to coast and score is a huge momentum gainer for Bedford. Let's see if they can ride it.
Jay, when you're, we see pretty much after every goal the defense huddles up with the goalie. Are they just saying there, hey, we got to slide fast? I mean, when, like you said, it's definitely a momentum builder, but when the face-off guy's coming down, a lot of times we see it in every level. It's like, hey, no one's going to stop him because he's just a face-off guy. What are they saying in that huddle there?
Yeah, most of the time, just like we talked about an attacking with a short stick, you're like, whoa, we just let the face-off guy score. We got to get our stuff together here. So, but it's mostly about communication. It's talking to each other, saying, hey, this can't happen again. You got to stop the ball. The person with the ball scores the goal.
Right.
And you might see that more as the face-off, get-off kind of guys, the Fogos, get more specialized. You'll hear it slow to go, but you still actually have to go at some point, right? Slow to go until they get inside the restraining box. They get 15 yards out. You probably should go.
I would also just add on the decision to put a short stick on an attackman. Sure, there might be some feelings hurt in terms of a chip on your shoulder, but what I think happens, and the reason I see it, and I think it can work well, is very shifty attackmen. If they've got a little bit taller defenseman, sometimes it's just about playing hips. If they're not going to take the ball away from them, if your long stick's not going to take the ball away from the guy, you might as well just play body and try to get beat less around the cage. And sometimes a midi can help you do that if they're just, if they can match feet. Sometimes that can be, at least I think, a very good reason to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the same strategy here. Wallace, and now shot from up top. Purnell right up top to Helton. The Bulldogs extend the lead. Just too much space for Helton. He'll take a shot, hit that low right corner.
Yeah, and I think this is where we see the past getting to Exeter a little bit. Both Helton and Matthews had big games the last time, and they deserve that long stick, but really too much time and space there. Open shot. Helton's good enough to score that.
It almost looked like Burnage got caught off guard. He was at least 15 out. I don't think he was expecting it, or at least that's the way it looked. But again, like you said, time and room, hands free. Let it fly.
And let's talk about the hands-free again. Purnell dodging from behind, again, with a short stick on him. The attacker with precision passing is easy to find Helton up top.
Assisted by number 3.
Procedure by the Bulldogs on the following face-off. And now they'll play some 6-on-6D. Cutter on the top side. Nice cut from all the way on the back side. Low shot. Wide to the right. Delori misses the cage. You can see that developing from this back side here as the defense had their heads turned. This is Hathaway behind.
It seems like first time in a while that Exeter has had the ball in the attacking end. Got to get something going here to stem the tide down 4-1.
Kerr defends Lazowitz. Up top now Williams. He'll go lefty. Drives the alley. Back up top, misses the connection. And now the hustle. Riccio up quick to Purnell. They'll settle things down as it wasn't a clean connection. Soden. Kaliza near side now, Gaffney.
You got a 2-on-1.
2-on-1 on the low side. Yeah, they had the odd man. Couldn't quite take advantage of it.
Good to know a couple fossils like us eyes still looks right.
That was Jackson LaRanger, who's coming high there, leaving a 2-on-1 on the backside, but the Bulldogs couldn't take advantage. Great check here now. Tanner Smith slaps it away from Matthews, and now out on the break. Here's Nicholas. Nicholas lefty pulls the trigger, high bouncer, score. Andrew Nicholas scoops it up, gets it into transition. Has the legs to outrun Helton.
Similar to the face-off situation, Jay. The face-off guys, same thing with a long puller coming down. It's like, hey, are we actually going to go here? And once they go, it's like the cartoon eyes pop out of the defender's head with the ball. He's going. Once he gets to a certain point, he's committed.
I don't know what you're talking about, Todd.
Yeah, and that's a tough one for the goalie, too, because 6 feet, you can go high, low, big bouncer there. It's really, really hard to react quickly enough off this bouncy turf.
It looks like he threw the knuckle change at him. I mean, the stick was going 100 miles an hour. It came out about half, caught the goalie off guard there, and just bounced underneath the crossbar.
And honestly, it was a great shot. The high bouncer tucked it right under the crossbar. Riccio still battling for the face-off, runs into his own man over there. Still has it, and finally is able to settle it down, but the long pull behind is not what you want with Sam Durso. Now Soden will settle. 4-2 is your score, just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bulldogs hold the 2-goal lead. Matthews rolls it far side, Helton. A little bit casual, picking up that ground ball with one hand and dangling. Mastro da Casa scooped that up as the midfielders missed the connection. And they're pulling 3 pulls on all 3 midfielders. So 2 attackmen are drawing short sticks as Exeter looks to make even more adjustments.
Yeah, and the tape on Bedford has been there, very midfield heavy, strong drives from top down below. Let's see what Bedford can do to adjust.
And you look right there, as you were saying that, Corey, 2 Bedford attackmen standing behind the cage, not moving their feet, not going getting the ball. They can invert. There's 1,000 things they can do, but if they don't move their feet, any team, if they're doing this, if you don't move your feet, you're playing right into the trap that the other, the team defending is making for you.
Quick up here. Great save. Stoned on the doorstep. Ethan Burnich. Kaliza walked in all alone through a couple fakes. Fake high, go high. Rarely works, though, and Burnich is true to the task. Great hustle on the ride. Tough hit there. We're going to get a helmet-to-helmet penalty on Soden. And Exeter down into the offensive restraining box. They'll settle things down and try to get a good shot while we have a delayed penalty. Good check there. And it looked like Williams might have stepped into the crease, so the flag gets called. Soden will trot off on a helmet-to-helmet. They may lock this in for a minute on that helmet-to-helmet. We'll see. We see the replay as the outlet pass is made. He's there. He's in right position, but he goes helmet to helmet, ducks his head just a minute, and they will lock it in. As we see the official on the far side put his hands above his head.
It almost looked like more like incidental contact than it did an actually what I would call an aggressive play. But they do lock it in. Again, not my first time disagreeing with a referee, I guess. But we look back at the save here, as you said, Corey. High to high, tougher. I'm sure one that Kaliza would like to have back.
Yeah, Burnich came across his face there too, so it was offside high, but still great anticipation. Keeps the score 4-2, and now the Blue Hawks have earned a man up. Second time we've seen their extra man in this first quarter. Zip it around, cutter on the high side here. They missed the pass, and now the ball gets checked out. Helton scoops up the ground ball. Great job by Spencer Henryshawn getting that pole in the way. Getting the ball on the turf. Helton looks to be aggressive. Matthews avoids the check from behind. Henryshawn. Barrett challenges. Steps in the crease and turns it over. Todd, as an offensive coach,
yeah, I think
killing out a penalty that's locked in. What are your thoughts there?
This type of game, you're locked in. You've got to be either aware of that through all your years of playing lacrosse, or your coach has to be screaming at the top of his lungs to basically just get it behind it, sit on it.
Delory here with the shot. Fletcher saves, stick side high. We have a procedure. I believe Fletcher might have stepped out and then stepped back in, which you cannot do as a goalie. As soon as you come out of your crease, you are not allowed free entry back into it. You have 4 seconds in there.
Not to get super technical, but if you have the ball inside the crease and then come out, you can catch the ball outside and then go in.
Correct.
I believe.
Correct. Near side. Bland. Up top, Delory. Back to X. This is Hathaway. Inside. Can't make the connection. Good job by Alex Gabry to come back and get a stick in the way, and now Gabry will look to get away from the ride. That's Hathaway. Now he draws a triple team. Needs to go back into the middle. Fletcher now goes far side. Kerr. Just over a minute to go in the first quarter. The Bulldogs lead 4-2. Kerr takes it over. Finds an open player. Purnell, nice dodge. Finishes. And that's great transition by the Bulldogs as they're killing off a penalty and clearing out and finding the open man.
Yeah, it's a fine line between playing stupid and pushing too hard when you're locked in, but then something here, they're even goal, even man, good head man, and Purnell was able to take care of it. Put it in the back of the net.
I'm sure Exeter's thinking this, but they had essentially a free second man up after Bedford did not try to kill the penalty down deep. They essentially got a second opportunity, forced to crease again. That's the third time they've done that on the man up. I assume the looks are there, what they're seeing, but not necessarily creating an open look on the man up, and then to turn around and give up that one. A little bit of momentum.
Very confused how open Purnell was. There wasn't a person within 15 yards of him. Not sure where the defender went. Purnell looks to scoop and score there, but can't cradle it right on the top of the crease. Coming out of the pack was Andrew Nicholas. Now climbing the ladder near side. Wallace to Delory. They'll settle things down and wait for their compatriots from the substitution box. 5-2 is your score. Last 20 seconds of the first quarter. Sheridan on Lazowitz. Lazowitz shot save. Fletcher. Rebound save. Fletcher. Another rebound. And they're going to count the goal. Despite an Exeter player being in the crease, they're going to count it.
Hopefully we get a good replay of this. I'm not sure the referees knew what was going on here. You got a save, initial save. He just scooped it, and I don't think you can land in the crease as long as you're not going towards the sort of the interior arc. He was going up away towards midfield. Tough to see from here, both on replay and live. But
looked like
good
Hathaway.
goal nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, Fletcher came up with 2 saves. Looks like Hathaway was right there on the doorstep, scooping up for garbage. Was able to find the loose ball and pop it in. And that'll do it for the first quarter. 5-3 is your score. The Bulldogs lead after one. Jay, thoughts from that first quarter as we saw a back and forth affair? We have some highlights here too.
Yeah, I think it feels like a little bit of a playoff atmosphere here. We got a lot of frantic activity. Fletcher coming up strong, but giving up the rebounds. I'll say too that as Bedford continues to win faceoffs, they're being a little bit careless with the ball as they're trying to press. And so I think it would a little bit of seasoned patience would do them well here in the second quarter.
We've seen a few different tactics on the Exeter defensive end. Todd, second quarter moving forward, what adjustments you think Coach Bordeaux is going to make? What adjustments is Coach Brewster going to make?
Yeah, I actually don't mind the short sticks on the attackman at all. I think it's a good strategy. Prove to them that they're going to beat you, and then you change. But right now, I think they've given up. One of them was a goal, the other one was a save, but they've given up 2, complete breakdowns in transition for 2 of their goals. I think a little bit like a prize fight. They just testing each other out. A couple mistakes, maybe a couple jitters. I expect it to be a cleaner going forward overall. For Exeter, I think a couple times again you get 2-man ups in a quarter. You would hope they could capitalize on them. I'm sure they want to, but we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. We will also see what happens here next Monday afternoon as the boys lacrosse team will be hosting the Maryland Merrimack Tomahawks. That's Monday, May 20th at 5:30 p.m. Will be broadcast here on BCTV channel 1072 as well. The girls softball team will take on Manchester West Trinity combined team on Wednesday the 22nd. That's at 4 p.m. for first pitch. You can watch all the action on BCTV channel 8, HD 1072, or the BCTV app. Please join and enjoy.
Yeah, I got to go back to something. So color me intrigued, because Todd, I agree with you. The short stick probably is a good idea. I would, wager that if we see Bedford continuing to have success from behind, the next best thing is to lock off on those short sticks, and then you're really playing 4-on-4 with a bunch of long poles.
And I think they're doing a little bit of that, or at least what I saw, they're doing a little bit of that. But the one time, the last goal where Exeter came around from X, he made a pass across the crease for the score, but he wasn't beat from X. He wasn't beat. He wasn't, he was still in good position. Sure, they got a pass off, but yeah, I would agree with you 1,000%, Jay. The next thing is to shut him off. Sheridan here trying to go coast to coast, as he was available for Riccio on the face-off win, backed up behind by Purnell. Same attack on the field. Kaliza, Purnell, and Barrett. Far side, here's Gaffney down the right alley. He's joined at midfield by Helt and Matthews. Guarded behind, looks to go. Double team comes. They settle, they'll regroup from up top with Helton matching up against the short stick. This is Wallace. Shot save. Ethan Burnich. He'll walk out of his crease and look to clear the ball. Jackson Green picks it off from his defender. Nice pass there.
That was his teammate, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. Now here's Delory, far side. He'll shoot. Misses to the right. Bouncer goes wide, backed up behind.
Good little early O. If you missed the cage, no big deal. You got your backup, but he got off a nice little rocket there. Low corner.
Owen Williams now for the Blue Hawks. Bulldogs work through that and get a nice check from Kerr. Ball goes up. Kerr bats it to himself. Now towards the end line. Nice job to corral that. Finds Riccio. He's in trouble. Now Henrishon. Henrishon absorbs the stick, and now he'll press the numbers. He'll take a shot, miss wide right. Backed up by Sam Barrett. Again, that early offense that you're talking about with the confidence of the backup behind. Matthews matches up now on Tyler Bland. Will draw an early slide. It's just a show, though. He gets by. Shot goes wide.
Yeah, it's great to see Bedford respond a little bit. There's something that you can do when you know you're getting shorties on your attackman. You actually take the shorties from midfield back behind before they can switch. And Matthews went back there, had a good question mark coming around the corner.
Purnell drives now on Bland. Up top, Matthews, dodged to his left. Good defense. Now shot from the right wing. Matthews to help. 6-3.
Couldn't quite tell if there was a little screen there. At least from our angle, it looked like there might have been a little screen there in front of Exeter. But good placement. Again, hands-free, got off a good little rip. It doesn't take much, as long as your shoulders are clear and your hands are clear, it doesn't take much to get a shot off if you know what you're doing. Little roll dodge here, pass down back. It looks like, maybe not, but little action in front of him might have just distracted Burnich there.
Defenseman Harry Caracciolo was trying to sneak over and influence the play from Matthews up top. Snuck in a little too far. Now Kerr looks to be aggressive. He'll settle things down. His pass gets tipped. Gaffney's shot saved. Ethan Burnich.
Bedford
4 by my count already.
Help, assisted by number 13, Matthews.
And now in transition, they find an odd man. Hathaway scores. Delory to Hathaway. Little twister backhander. Bounces in on the far side. Fletcher was left alone with the one-on-one. See the replay here. Delory plays the odd man. Just a slide was late. Hathaway cashes.
A little bit, like you said, Jay, a little communication breakdown of who was covering who as they sort of slid in. And, you know, that's the second time Delory has pushed early offense and caused a little disruption. The shot last time, this time with the goal, drew somebody. The slide was late. Quick goal. Well done.
Yeah, I'm impressed too with Burnich. He's seeing the ball really well. And Bedford has got to change the angle to which they're shooting. He can see it too easily, and these are becoming academic for him.
Procedure on the face-off. The Blue Hawks will have a 6-on-6.
Exeter goal scored by number 20.
In their offensive end. Hathaway.
Assisted by number 2, Evan Delory.
Over to Delory again on that right wing. Matches up with Alex Cotnoir. Here's Lazowitz. Behind, Hathaway. Now top right, his pass goes astray. Be back, over and back, or it'll go out of bounds. I believe they're supposed to let that play out if the offensive player's ready to pick it up and if they have an advantage, but they do blow it dead. Sam Barrett for the Bulldogs will bring it behind. Nice step into the passing lane there, Harry Caracciolo. Can't quite corral the ground ball, but now they double team Purnell. And Barrett will scoop up the GB. Bulldogs fortunate there as Caracciolo made a nice play stepping in. Just under 8 minutes to go, first half. The Bulldogs lead 6-4 over the Blue Hawks. Matthews splits 2, shot score. High left. Got to 10 yards, pulled the trigger, and found the back of the net.
Yeah, he basically ran right through that double team as if it weren't there. The defender thought help was coming, but crossed him over. Bennett took care of the rest.
You saw there Tanner Smith, a very good defenseman, was trying to play Matthews to go left. And Matthews said, I don't think so. I'm still going to go back to my right.
A tale as old as time. When you go over their head, they shoot and score.
Tough one, those bailout checks. And Matthews, again, quick enough to get his hands free. That was the last-ditch effort by Smith, and came up empty. Matthews did not. Procedure on the face-off. Now Gaffney will get things started for the Bulldogs.
Jay, back to what you were saying, that dodge downhill, that's gonna, it doesn't matter who you're covering, whether it's a short stick or long stick or what he's going against. If you're gonna play with that kind of determination and know when you can and should shoot, it's not gonna matter who they put on him or where they put their poles.
Matthews looking for help back here in the middle. Misses the connection. They turn it over.
Yeah, we talk about in sports impressing your will on other teams. I mean, you're either going to be defended or you are going to take your offense to that defender, and that's what we're seeing Bennett do. And that's what Bedford continues to do from the midfield here.
Whistle right in our field microphone there. Picking up the sounds down on the turf. Offside Exeter. They'll turn it over.
You want a quick whistle here if you're Bedford, pick it up and go.
Pick it up and go when you're ready.
Hold on.
The official's a bit confused. They were clearly offside though, and the Bulldogs get the turnover. Soden steps out to his right. He'll press the action. A little bit of an odd man there too. Barrett back to the middle. Soden bounce shot too high. Purnell with the backup feeds the middle. Kaliza gets checked. Good help back on Kaliza as Nicholas was there for the help, and now chasing down the defender. Great job by Soden. Picking it up and scoring though. Tanner Smith stayed with it. Scooped up the ground ball. Fired it past Fletcher.
It's just a battle of the wills for the 213s.
Yeah, credit to Soden. Came down. Actually, he thought he had a goal previously, but hustled back, did everything right, and 13 here was able to pick up the trash and throw it down.
Little fake down low, came back high right there. What a play. Tanner Smith, the senior defenseman.
Exeter goal scored by number 13, Tanner Smith.
Yeah, and we're seeing, I think, Todd, going back to what you were talking about, we're seeing on these fast breaks, Bedford's staying a little bit too spread. They're not covering the middle of the field, kind of stopping the ball first and then covering out from there.
I think until you can prove that you can bang the ball around on a fast break from high to low and then across the crease, you almost want to slide early and make them pass it. Force them to make the pass. If you're not doing that, I think you're just not giving yourself the best opportunity on the defensive side to try to stop that man advantage there.
Dylan Riccio so dominant, he has now drawn Tanner Smith, that long stick defenseman, as their face-off guy for the Blue Hawks. So really dominating, and now Helton dominates some more. Helton, the Hattie in the first half. Again, hands-free, low burner. He beats Burnich.
Yeah,
Bulldogs go back up 3.
I was giving Burnich credit before, but that's when he should have had it. Up 15-yard shot, low to low. Either didn't see it or just reacted way too late, but good on Helton.
I think that's the 4th goal that's been low to low that's gone in. You had the one where we thought there was a screen, that one. There was one on the other end from about 15 yards out. That might have been Helton also. It seems like these low to low shots are going in for Bedford. Not something you necessarily always teach, but if that's the scout, that's the scout.
Lazowitz comes away with the ground ball at midfield. Smith looking for his second goal. Flag on that far side. I believe we're going to get a hold. I thought we were going to get a slash on Henryshawn coming over the top, but we do get a hold.
Here it is, a replay here. Helton spins, and again, just unleashes low to low. And I don't know, again, it almost looked like Burnich just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, there are sayings like, shoot or shoot, or you miss at, 99% of the shots you don't take type of thing. What that really means is I got lucky.
Shots on goal, though. Overtime, might as well throw it at the net, see what happens. NHL playoff season going on right now. You see it time and time again, in particular on the ice, but
pucks on net.
Can't hurt here, right? Just under 6 minutes to go, first half. The Bulldogs lead 8-5, but they'll be down a player for 30 seconds on the hold.
Like to see Exeter here try to get something that's not forced in the crease, see if they can work on something, get somebody with their hands free to take a shot here. Here it is.
Wide and outside to the right. Evan Delory had time and space, couldn't hit the net. Backed up behind.
They brought 3 Crothers down. And Delory was
Feed
there.
inside. Player gets wiped out. That was Alex Kerrigan looking to catch and score in the middle. Good defense to slide and force him off that opportunity, but the Blue Hawks come up with the following ground ball.
Yeah, I think Kerrigan was giving up at least 100 pounds on that one, but last game he did score in the crease. Good for the freshman to show those quick hands.
Back behind, Hathaway. They'll match up on Helton. Bulldogs will look to slide early. They do. Shot goes wide, chasing down the loose ball. Near sideline. Owen Williams backs it up. Williams now, back left of Fletcher. Substitution through midfield. Blue Hawks have on Jackson Green, new midfielder. From the right wing, Green will look to go lefty. Too high and outside. Looked like a possession shot, but I'm not sure that was the intention. 4.5. Lazowitz behind to Hathaway. Back up top. Nice patient possession here for the Blue Hawks. Lazowitz now. Little pick and roll action. Back up top for the lefty. Junior goes to his right and finds the low left corner. 15 yards out and beats Fletcher to that offside low corner.
I'm never going to get upset as someone who tries to work with kids on their shooting about a low corner overhand shot. But again, almost a little pick, little screen, a little movement in front of the goalie, 10 yards out. Good shot, good placement. Well done by Owen Williams.
I believe that was Marshall Lazowitz, but that's all right.
My apologies.
Owen Williams, too, was in that pick and roll type situation, a little two-person game on the top left of Fletcher. And Lazowitz cashes in. O'Toole now on the following face-off. He's harassed by Smith, and Smith D1's O'Toole. Near side, Caracciolo. Now Burnich throws it away in the midfield. The Bulldogs come away with the Lucy. Soden takes it over. Coach Bordeaux takes a timeout. 3:41 to go. Second quarter, the Bulldogs lead by 2, 8-6. Coach Koss, you go into this timeout. What are you talking about?
I think you're just resetting. I think, we had a little bit of back and forth there. Some what I would say is a little bit sloppy for what they had liked back and forth by both teams. You can't take the timeouts with you through halftime. So good little timeout there. Reset. I don't know if you're telling them much other than, hey, let's just get into our set. Let's make sure we're good. 3 minutes left in the half. Let's try to pump one or two in here if we can. But again, I think a good timeout given the back and forth play that just went on. Good call in my opinion.
I've got one thing I would say is, can someone please keep an eye on Tanner Smith? Guy's all over the place. He's scoring goals, drawing flags down on the offensive end, and there he is taking the stick away from Parker O'Toole. The kid's having a really nice game.
Yeah, they made the adjustment to put him up on the face-off X, and they were seeing the dominance of Dylan Riccio, and again, showing even more versatility. He's scoring goals, he's defending, he's facing off, and Tanner Smith showing an amazing amount of diversity. The senior defenseman, as you say, Jay, all over the field.
A motor, if you will.
Yeah, good motor. Good motor guy. Blue Hawks defense, do you think they're going to try something different? Maybe a zone, maybe pressing out, maybe 2 or 3 passes, then go heavy, or are they going to stay in their base?
Yeah, if it's me, this is where I do the lock-off from behind. I would make Bedford beat you against your poles, midi against poles.
Seems like they withstood a little that early onslaught as well. I think if they can get into the half, Exeter with down just 2, I think that's good. Obviously, Bedford has a different plan right here, but I think they've sort of settled in a little bit.
So the 2 short sticks Exeter has back here are Jackson Green, listed on the roster as an attackman. He's done quite well in this defensive half. And then Matt Wallace, we've seen him playing short stick D-midi throughout the game. Little play set up out of the timeout. Cut was late, so Helton will settle things down. Purnell was looking for Kaliza on that high cut. A couple of back checks here. Helton absorbs. He's going to keep driving hard righty. Misses the connection with Barrett. Purnell, though, phenomenal job chasing that down. Reestablishes himself in the field of play. Takes on a double team. Ball comes out. Master DaCosta comes up with the Lucy. Then he throws it away. Good lift there. Well done by Owen Williams at midfield as Sheridan tried to keep it on the offensive end. If the long stick keeps it over with his stick, that is not an over and back. So nice heads up play by Williams to earn the over and back and a possession for the Blue Hawks.
Just interrupted enough the stick, the defender's stick there to keep it up and off the turf, let the ball roll under.
Under 3 to go, first half. 8-6 Bedford over the visiting Exeter Blue Hawks. Lazowitz down the left alley. Behind, Hathaway from X. Good check there by Henrishon. Forces an errant pass. But the Blue Hawks midfielders are there to scoop it up. Here's Evan Delory.
One thing Bedford does very well is when they slide, they're sliding with a purpose and they're throwing a check. So many times people just slide and just stand there.
Green beats Fletcher high.
As I'm talking about the slide, 1 second late, is there a no-hitter going on? I'm not sure. But, you know, for the most part, they're sliding with a purpose here, maybe a smidge late, Jay.
Yeah, and I think Matthews tried to get him to go down the alley, but took the bait, let the midi come across his face, and really nice shot from outside by Jackson Green.
Got the momentum going the wrong way for Matthews, got back to his strong left hand, rips it high, and we're at 8-7. 2 goals by Hathaway, 1 each by Green, Smith, Lazowitz, Nicholas, and Delory. 2 long pole goals for the Blue Hawks. They have 7. A very clear very clear smash in the helmet is missed. Now Gaffney gets stoned. Phenomenal save, Burnage. At least 5 this first half. And now he leads the clear out. Lazowitz doesn't see the player coming from behind. Great hustle by Barrett. He earns another possession. Purnell presses the issue. Tipped out of bounds. The Bulldogs will have another opportunity. 97 seconds left in the first half. They'll look to get back up by 2. 3 goals by Helton, 1 each from Gaffney, Matthews, Riccio, Purnell, and Kaliza. Those 8 goals have the Bulldogs up 1. We're seeing it again. Those poles extending out onto these potent midfielders. Matthews gets his left hand free. Scores. Matthews second on the day. He has 2 and 2, 1:17 left in the first half, and the Bulldogs go back up to 9-7.
Yeah, that's just stubborn lacrosse right there, taking strength on strength, and Matthews are very, very nice. I mean, it's next level when you can go offhand and then hit that running from 15 yards. That's something that's really, really special.
I was going to say, something that's lost on today's game of lacrosse. I mean, even if you're watching the pro game or D1 semifinals or finals, not a lot of guys going opposite hand. They want to keep it in that hand. They've basically found every possible way to contort their body without switching hands. But if you can switch hands and dodge both ways downhill, you're essentially impossible to stop.
Riccio with another face-off win.
Bennett Matthews, unassisted.
Jay, I might also think here, you know, we used to do sometimes when guys are scoring that much, instead of shutting them off, just you are almost playing a zone deep, sloughed in. If they're dodging downhill, let them dodge way deep in and you're there. Everybody else is playing man, but don't play them so far away, you know, so far out so that you're getting beat. Just slough off, you know, play him close when he doesn't have the ball and then back away from him when he does.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, with a good offensive team like Bedford, you have to kind of pick your poison and just come up with a team game plan that says, if they're going to beat us, this is how.
If they're going to beat us, Jackson Green is going to keep going to that left hand into the middle, as he does here. Pulls it back to within 1.
2 minutes ago, we were thoughting about how each team could get into the half, and there's been 4 goals since. Well done by both sides. You know, just again there, same thing. Dodging downhill, hands free, and letting it loose.
Slide came a little too late, didn't come to body. Green kept going to that left hand down the middle. Beats Fletcher high. 32 seconds left in this first half.
15.
9-8.
Jackson Green.
Bulldogs hold a 1-goal lead. They'll have to figure out a few things here, especially in transition. They've mostly been okay, but that one right there, definitely a communication breakdown. Late slides or no slides. Green comes right down the Parkway.
Yeah, and I think right now you're talking on the coaches on Bedford side, you're talking about what you have to have, and then you build from there. They have to have the face-off, and then they have to bring it down and keep control. They've been throwing sloppy passes and giving up that huge advantage at the X, and Exeter's taking advantage of that chaos, coming down and getting one-on-one goals off the Bulldogs.
32 seconds left here. Coach Koss, you win the face-off. What do you want to do on offense?
personally, if I've got the situation, I am not calling a timeout. If my face-off guy or pole gets it over and brings it down, I'm just telling him to get it in the box, call a timeout, regroup. But I like the best thing about offense is when the defense is a little scattered. So if you've got a little bit of what you can push, if let's say the face-off guy is now having to defend someone, or you got a little bit of an uneven situation, a little early offense, I let the kids play. If you're in trouble, you get the face-off, you call the time, get in the box, call a timeout.
Interestingly, though, it doesn't seem that the Bulldogs have a timeout left. On the scoreboard, it says 0 in the timeouts left. I believe they burned their 2 in this first half. Might have to let them play, even if they do win the face-off, get into a challenging situation, they're going to have to get themselves out of it.
Yes, they missed the giant 0. But if you're Exeter,
Riccio pulls it back to himself. Little scoop to Kerr. Kerr in traffic. Nice ground ball. He'll pull it back to himself. Backhand pass. Henrishon. Durso. Long stick to long stick to long stick. Matthews will drive middle. Shoots. Save. Burnage. Up high. Offside. And now deep outlet pass. Under 10 seconds to go. Delory doesn't see it. Under 5. Lazowitz beans it right at Durso, who eats a good one. And Fletcher will get his stick on a last-ditch attempt. The Bulldogs will carry a 1-goal lead after 24 minutes of play. 9-8 over the Exeter Bluehawks. Thoughts from the first half, boys. Todd.
You know, I mean, I almost want to say that last 30 seconds sort of summed up what the game's been like a little bit. They're both, you know, a little, I would say a little, not uneasy, and maybe not the right word, but there's just a little slight sloppiness, but it's working out. Guys are getting good shots off. They're recovering from that. But I think a great game. You know, it's sort of like a little prize fight. They're throwing a couple punches at each other, and the other guy's coming back and saying, hey, I can do that too.
Jay.
Yeah, I think this is really a game about the unsettled situations and who can take advantage. Both teams are really doing a nice job creating them and then capitalizing. So whoever can come out in the second half and control that chaos is going to win.
We'll see exactly how that pans out in the second half. We'll take a short time out here for 10 minutes or so and join you for second half action here on BCTV. Second half coming up shortly. And welcome back to Bedford, New Hampshire. Bedford High School as they host the visiting Exeter High School lacrosse program. Today's Division I action has been phenomenal so far. Bulldogs carried a 1-goal lead into halftime, 9-8. 12 minutes back on the board. As we look to start the second half, Dylan Riccio will face off again against Tanner Smith. Adjustment by the Bluehawks, putting the pole on the face-off as Riccio has been dominating. Pulls it back to himself. Sheridan down that far sideline, butt end gets checked. Good hustle by Williams as he was tracking the whole way. Now Lazowitz for Exeter. They'll settle things down.
Good job by Exeter just to realize that they had an attackman going on the other side of the ball, not to go offside. See that so many times, attackman's chasing them down, and the rest of the team is just not paying attention. Well done by Exeter. Creates a turnover.
Feet, adjustments here and there. They're looking for Green back in the middle. Check up high by Matthews is going to get called. First flag of the second half. Exeter will go on the extra man opportunity shortly. They'll look to score beforehand. Subbing through the box, Alex Kerrigan, the freshman. Green now up top. Delory near side wing. He'll head back up top. Looks to ISO on Riccio.
Take your time here. Get a good shot, at least in my opinion. You got the penalty coming. Get what you like. Don't force it.
Lazowitz to Green. He'll take a few steps in. Lefty pulls. Wide left, it'll go out of bounds. Again, I'm Corey Munster-Tiger here for BCTV. Joined in the box, Todd Koss, Jay Abendroth. Fellas, adjustments at halftime. You know, obviously we're going to see a man-up opportunity for the Blue Hawks. What other adjustments do you think Coach Brewster and Coach Bordeaux were making at halftime?
I think, like Jay said, you know, it's just going to be about who's going to, I don't want to say stop the sloppiness, but control the ball, not throw it away, not have self-inflicted wounds. Just play good, solid lacrosse. Both teams are getting shots off. If they can minimize their mistakes, I think they, you know, and the other team doesn't, I think one of these teams can run away with it here.
Yeah, and I just say, if you're Bedford, you want to clamp down. We just saw Green have almost an uncontested shot. Sheridan cut the distance at the last minute, but Bedford really's got to get sticks on hands.
Good stick there by Helton. Deflects a pass inside intended for Kerrigan. Now Fletcher looks to clear. He's harassed by Hathaway. Pivots away from pressure and gives himself some time. His pass is going to sail high. Great job by Sam Barrett, but then they give it right back to Exeter. Barrett kept it in. Odd man down the near side. They press the issue. Hathaway behind. Near side Bland. Back up top to Delory. Williams on the left wing. Gets back to his left hand. Shot is outside, and now he goes in the crease. Looked from our angle that he was able to cash that, but he was not. We get a call from midfield. I'm not quite sure what that call from midfield was.
I think they're giving him a free clear here. Goalie interference.
Yeah, that must be what it is.
They come high of the box,
but not to X. I'm not, you know.
That one official's really having a hard time today.
Yeah, I've never seen that call ever.
It's an interesting interpretation.
Mastro DeCasa gets downhill, draws the double, flips it behind. Barrett inside. Kaliza. Shot gets blocked in the middle. Looked like it hit Caracciolo. High hit there, doesn't get called. Smith now leads the break. It is even. He'll look to go on Matthews, but now settles things.
They had a little early if he turned around. They had Bland wide open in the middle for a 5-on-4. They just missed it. But stay in Exeter ball anyway. Regroup 6-on-6.
Regroup they do. They get all of their substitutions on. And now Williams starts it on that left wing. Green. Back to Lazowitz. Inside Lazowitz feed, good check on the trail. Tristan Kerr got a stick on it, forced the shot high and wide. Hathaway behind, backs it up. He's guarded by Henrichon. Near side, Delory. Green up top. His pass to Lazowitz goes high. Lazowitz gets a piece of it, so it does not sail out of bounds. Now Kerr challenging Lazowitz way out top. Little poke check. Lazowitz keeps going to his left. Now up top. Time and space shot for Green. 18 yards out. He'll fire away anyway, but misses the cage. Now Delory gets handcuffed on the pass up top.
Now if you're Delory here on a short stick against Bennett, who has been running all over the place, you would think he might decide to maybe take him, test him, see if he's still got all that, what gas he's got left in the tank. You know, I think Delory, I would have taken him one-on-one there.
Yeah, make him expend that energy on the defensive end, too. Williams shot lefty down the Parkway, goes high and away, and the Bulldogs backed it up behind. Here's Kerr. Pass is low, they missed the connection, and now back to this transition opportunity. Green takes a hit. Henrichon. No call, loose ball push. Probably a better call in my opinion, and likely should have been a penalty.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the loose ball came in until he got pushed. Might have missed one there.
frequent call for the officials. Instead of throwing the hanky, they'll call a loose ball in those types of situations. Green gets to his left hand, misses outside right. Backed up behind by Hathaway. 7:15 to go here in the third quarter. No goals since halftime. The Bulldogs still lead 9-8.
Yeah, really a different start for the Bulldogs here in the second half than what we saw in the first. Exeter doing a really nice job controlling the game, but again, when Bedford has the ball on their stick, they're making passes that are errant and giving up the ball in the midfield.
Value that ball, value the possessions. You hear it so many times in many sports, and same is true here. Green back up top. Delory. Good shot on the loose ball. All fair, but apparently not fair. Jeez, that's a tough call. Looked like a very easy man ball. Delory made a nice shot to give himself the opportunity, but
yeah, I think Soden got a little bit of a hook there too.
I was going to say that if I've seen a hold in my day, our angle might just have been better, but that's about a hold as a hold can be.
Either way, the Bulldogs come away with possession after a long offensive set by the Blue Hawks. Helton will slow things down, get his subs on, look to get his defenders at least able to catch their breath. Gaffney. Helton. He'll press the issue on the short stick. Shot high.
Yeah, and Corey, one of the reasons why I continue to harp on having the ball, we see here Exeter getting stuck with 3 of their offensive midfielders having to play defense. That's very different than all their pulls out there. So taking care of the ball actually gives you that man up or advantage personnel-wise for Bedford.
As we tick under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, 9-8 Bulldogs. Gaffney, he drives hard, switches to his left and finishes. Gaffney's second of the day. Bulldogs back ahead by 2, 10-8.
Feels like an important goal for the Bulldogs here. Gaffney able to bull dodge, get the underside, and then smartly goes to his left hand.
Left hand goes back near side and beats Burnich.
When you're going towards the cage and people are behind you, what he did very well there, you want to keep your stick right in front of your head. You don't need to put it off to one side or the other. There's nowhere for him to check it. Keep it right in front of your head. Good finish.
Ooh. Flag down on the backside. Okay, I was about to say, wow, I'm not quite sure where you get the flag there. They'll call it a loose ball hold on Smith as he came over the top, caught a little piece of the midfielder. It popped out of Riccio's stick. To me, the right call. You don't need a flag in that situation. Purnell looks to go, stoned inside. Burnich, now it's shot by Kaliza, gets blocked out in front. And the Blue Hawks come away with the loose ball. 2 quick score updates for you at halftime. The girls lacrosse team was ahead over Exeter 9-1. Dominating play there. Turnover, Sheridan. Kaliza one-on-one again. This time he finishes. He fakes high, goes low, and puts the Bulldogs up 3, 11-8.
Yeah, he was not going to miss that one. The senior took his time to change planes, fake high, and go all the way low.
The pass here, I think Burnich was Sheridan's tough to miss, but I think he got a little confused. His midfielder there, I think he was breaking up. Burnich had to pull up a little bit and went right to Sheridan. Good luck, find Kaliza on the doorstep, and as we said, not going to miss the second time.
Yeah, I think he was probably having that first opportunity haunt him throughout the rest of that first half, as he had the one-on-one opportunity, and Burnich stoned him on the doorstep, literally one-on-one, with a phenomenal save. This time Kaliza makes good. His second goal of the game, and the Bulldogs ahead 11-8. Gaffney, head of steam, gets doubled. Shot goes wildly out of bounds, but it's backed up behind by Sam Barrett. I said 2 scores to update you on. We got to the girls lacrosse, but then there have been a lot of other bits of action here as Barrett looks to go. Inside roll, draws the double. Helton settles things. Matthews will not. Back to his right hand. Gets free. Double comes. Purnell behind. Purnell gets the edge and scores.
Yeah, I think we've seen Purnell really take on some of that hard contact and be able to turn the corner. Really crafty, shifty move there. Didn't actually seem like he had too much of a step. Was able to get those hands free. You see the stick on his backside. So that's kind of cake for an attackman, a good one like Purnell, to have his hands free and turn the corner.
Bouncer offside hip, gains angle with his stick there. Again, pretty much an impossible save. Bouncer offside hip for the goalie. He's got to go down and then over to make the save. Tough one. Well placed by Purnell there, getting his hands free.
And Jay, you mentioned it. You'd like to see the Exeter defenseman get that stick topside. You know, his stick was trailing Purnell the entire way, and that gave Purnell the opportunity. Purnell took advantage with some strength, absorbing the hit, getting those hands free and finishing. I'll eventually get to these other scores, but Purnell looks to go again.
And he
got it again. A little razzle-dazzle from behind. He tripped himself, but he tripped his defender.
They
got
have no
high,
interest in the other
in.
scores, Corey. None.
Purnell with the Hattie now. And Exeter takes a timeout. That's when I'll get the opportunity. We'll see a little jab step, steps through it, gets high enough, and beats Burnich near side.
And Bedford has, Jay, you mentioned it, Exeter had come out at the beginning of the half, and Bedford had weathered that storm, and now they're up 4. You know, they didn't have the ball for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, got it back, essentially 3 goals in what, under a minute or 2, long enough that Corey can't get the other scores out, or I should say fast enough that Corey can't get the other scores out, but well done by Bedford.
Yeah, and I'd say too, we're seeing, this is the fun part about lacrosse team game. So Matthews, Helton, all those strong midfielders have done, made hay in the first half, but here we see the overcompensation. Purnell able to take advantage from behind on short sticks and really have his way.
Right, absolutely. As we said earlier, some of that, when you get the short stick on it, you got to take them. You got to be moving your feet, and if you can impose your will, go ahead and do it. Now Exeter's got to be thinking, all right, what do we do now?
Yeah.
We tried a long stick, we tried some short sticks, we're still down 4 or 5. So anyway, Corey, back to you and the other scores.
Listen, 4-goal run puts the Bulldogs up 5. The other scores that I was trying to get in there, the baseball team beat Alvern this afternoon 10-0. The softball team fell to Alvern 19-3. Really, just so much action here the last couple minutes. Tough to get those scores in. Fun to watch what's going on here. Back and forth action. A 4-goal run puts the Bulldogs up 5. Back to the face-off. Riccio pulls. Scoops up the ground ball. Now headmans to Helton. Dodges another long stick defender. Feeds backside Purnell. Great hang. And now the backup by Burnich as the shot sailed high. Tough one there. That's one that Coach Bordeaux is going to coach up his team. We got to have one of you guys running back for that backup.
Yeah, and it's we've seen, start of the second half is much like the first of the face-off X. Ricio's actually winning it so cleanly that in the first half, Tanner Smith was able to actually get set up and play defense on him. But Ricio's the second half has been able to win the ball cleanly, pick it up, but run away from the pressure and find the right pass. Nice work from the freshman.
He was frequently looking for his defenders to get ahead of steam back into transition. A nice adjustment by the Blue Hawks to have the attackman just run with the defenseman, as we saw Owen Williams do that earlier. Caused a turnover. 13-8, a little offensive explosion here for the Bulldogs in the last few minutes. Shot sails high here by Owen Williams. Halfway behind.
Bedford might have got away with one there. 12 yards, an absolute laser rocket beam. Just missed the net.
Feed inside, misses the mark. Bland can't come down with it. They call White offsides at the midfield as Kaliza likely stepped on the midfield line. So Exeter gets another opportunity. Green checked on an over-the-head check by Matthews. One of those save-me checks. If he misses that, Green has a good opportunity to get one on cage. A lot of ISO stuff this half from the Blue Hawks. Looking to go one-on-one. Same here with Delory. Far side, Lazowitz.
Yeah, and with two teams that have played each other and have so much familiarity, you can kind of hear on our sideline mic. Everybody knows their tendencies, what hand they're going back to, where they're rolling back to. So a lot of interesting one-on-one matchups going on right now.
And if you stay heavy and anticipate those players coming back to their strong hand, those defensemen will be in a much better place. Yelling out, hey, lefty, lefty. Same here, Green, lefty. Force him right. There you go. Goes right, comes back to his left, and still sticks it topside. Green with a hattie now. Rolled away from pressure there. Put it back in his left hand and still was able to beat Fletcher.
Yeah, there we see Bennett was waiting for him to go lefty. Green was able to have stutter step, and I think he shot it through Sheridan, it seemed like, who took the brunt of that follow through. I
always try to tell players when the defenseman is sliding to you, just shoot it right off their ear hole. Tough for the goalie to see. They're either going to stop it, the goalie's not going to see it, or they're not going to come back at you again as hard if you accidentally hit him in hit him up high or it goes in. They're probably going to duck next time, but good job using the screen there for Green, but also very good placement. Top corner, tough save.
Quote unquote accidentally, right? Right, Coach Koss?
Yes, you shoot it past them. It's a screen.
Riccio still with the ball. Looking to take advantage of an odd man, but they'll settle. You'll hear them yell on that far sideline, yellow, yellow.
Jay, how many times do you go back in that huddle after the goals? Does the goalie actually say, I couldn't see it, I didn't see it, screened? Are you talking, I mean, in all seriousness, are you talking about that at all? I mean, I know sometimes just a low shot from 12 yards out, if there's legs in the way or whatever, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, that circle after a goal is a little bit, that's the trust tree. Okay. That's where you really say, wow.
Yeah, we're not going to tell a midfielder what we talk about back there either.
That was a good shot. He's a good player.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to give a nod. Hey, look, you stung the upper 90.
Right.
That's a good shot. You got to keep as a defenseman, you keep your goalie up. You apologize, even if it wasn't a screen. Sorry, man, I think I screened you out. You're pumping your goalie up left and right, trying to keep him with a positive frame of mind. Because we all know that every single lacrosse goalie is out of their mind. That's absolutely true. And you always got to keep them on the positive.
Yeah, and there's this saying, Todd, you know it, game respects game.
Right.
And sometimes you just got to get, like Corey said, give him the nod and be like, yeah, hey, you got us on that one.
Matthews able to deflect that ball and keep the opportunity for the Bulldogs. Shoots off the pipe. Beat Burnich near side, just outside of the frame. Last seconds of the third quarter ticking down. Shot from just about midfield. Fletcher true to the task, and the Bulldogs have extended their halftime lead out to 4 now at the end of 3, 13-9 over the visiting Blue Hawks. Koss, thoughts from that third quarter?
Yeah, but I mean, again, Bedford, I think, weathered the time of possession storm. You know, we've seen a lot less settled goals. A lot of it's been unsettled, which again is the game of lacrosse, trying to find the extra man, the extra pass. But I think at the beginning, you know, Exeter had the ball, Bedford withheld it, and sure, Exeter got close, but as soon as it got back in the Bedford end, Bedford pumped in 4 goals like it was nothing.
Yeah, and you see, I agree. It's one of those things we talked about, finding order in chaos. There's a fine line between pushing it and being reckless, and I feel like Bedford was able to ride that line and keep the ball and keep control, and again, keep those offensive midfielders from Exeter out on the field playing defense instead of throwing the ball away or giving them a chance to go take a break and get ready for their offensive side. So Bedford really rolling a little bit here.
I like that order and chaos, right? Press the issue when you can, but make sure that you're keeping possession of the ball, valuing possession, taking advantage of each and every opportunity you have in the offensive zone.
Yeah, it's like art, right? You know it when you see it. Kind of know chaos when you see it. The right kind of chaos.
And as a defensive team, you know, you really want to try to create that chaos. Get up there, cause some urgency, get that offensive player out of their comfort zone. Out of their comfort zone they will potentially be when Merrimack comes and joins the fray here at Bedford High School next Monday, May 20th, 5:30. They will visit the boys lacrosse team. That will be our last regular season broadcast of the season. The softball team will take on Manchester West Trinity on Wednesday, May 22nd. We'll broadcast that one here also on BCTV, and then playoff coverage will follow that the day after Memorial Day. So things will heat up across the spring sports, and we'll try to bring you all that action from BCTV. Great crew today. Andrew Fenn here in the box with us, producing, giving us a second camera angle up top. We have Bill Jennings back in the studio, Dale Bird providing replays. We really appreciate all three of your guys' efforts and making this broadcast robust. Back to the Face-Off X. Riccio. Facing off this time against Carachicola. White moved outside of the box too early. Nope, they're going to call blue outside of the box too early. So the Bulldogs will have a possession. They'll settle things down near side, top right of Burnage. Here's Helton. Throws the ball across field for Matthews. He draws Wallace. Wallace beat to the middle. Bennett beats Burnage. Top right, and that's that lefty pull on the run with a snipe. And Matthews has 3 and 2 now and puts the Bulldogs up 14-9.
I think if you polled any college coach of any division, if they could get somebody who could dodge downhill with both hands with the success that Bennett Matthews has, they would be thrilled with that, to see that type of play on their college team.
Right from the ensuing face-off. Right down the middle. With his second long stick goal of the game, Andrew Nicholas, the lefty, scooping up that ground ball, running through checks. Nobody slides to body. And Nicholas, right in on Fletcher, answers right away for the Blue Hawks.
Yeah, and that's when I think the Bulldogs are a little bit shocked. Riccio's been controlling the X and really let the defender come down through Main Street, get a pretty easy shot on goal.
Nicholas, to his credit, scooped up that ground ball, outran the midfielders, and was able to finish. Riccio. And now the Blue Hawks have done what we've seen the Bulldogs do in the past. They put 2 long stick midfielders up at the face-off, one actually taking it, the face-off itself, Tanner Smith, and then Nicholas on the wing.
Plenty of time here. Goals come in bunches, but Exeter's got to get into set and get a shot off in their 6-on-6 settled offense, which they I believe most of their goals, or it seems like anyway, most of their goals have come from sort of uneven play. They got to score here in their offensive side, 6-on-6.
The big lefty Green again. Now to the far side, Delory. Behind Hathaway. Delory from that right wing. Lazowitz tries to get back to his left. Sheridan overplays. Patient offense here for the Blue Hawks. Bland from that right wing. Looks to ISO on the shorty. Slide comes quickly. It's Kerr. Lazowitz goes to his right. Now back to his left. Shot is high.
Yeah, and sorry, Corey. We're seeing Bedford quick to slide on the first one from Kerr, on the hands, turned back the offensive player. But on that one, Lazowitz really came with body, not the hands, and Lazowitz was able to get a free shot at a bad angle.
Green Tries to get to his left. Kerr is there. Lazowitz now matched up with Sheridan. Delory down the left alley. Lazowitz hits the pipe. Near side had Fletcher beat. Fletcher goes back through his steps and say, man, I got to get across my face there.
I think he was even one step short of the pipe there. I think he was just a little late getting over. He did have him beat inside near pipe, that's for sure.
Fletcher comes up with a big save there. Hathaway beat 2 men behind. Got high on the left side. Now Kerr comes up with the ground ball on a great hustle play. Soden will look to clear it out. Finds Gaffney. Gaffney turns on the Jets, but he'll settle. They look in the middle. Barrett's pass gets knocked down. Good stick in the middle from one of those defenders. Couldn't quite tell who it was. And
saved
now
the goal,
the
that's for
Bulldogs
sure.
will settle, yes. Cutter through the middle. I think it was Kaliza as Barrett was looking for the senior attackman. We missed it here in the booth. I believe it was announced over the loudspeaker on the field as Bennett Matthews has his 100th career goal in the second quarter. Matthews now touches it again. Congratulations to Bennett Matthews, just a sophomore with 100 career goals already. Great start to his career. Helton playing a little cat and mouse game up top with Tanner Smith. Smith throwing some junk, trying to get that ball on the carpet. Barrett can't handle it. Matthews inside. Purnell turns the corner and scores. Purnell's 4th on the day. 3rd assist from Matthews. The Bulldogs go back up 5, 15-10.
Really nice look there from Matthews when you're shooting and scoring at will. Anytime you pull that crank up, the defense freezes a little bit, makes a nice dump down to Purnell. One defenseman, as we're always taught, you just curl around that defenseman. They're coming with a check. You're running full speed the other way. Curl around, offside hip. Almost impossible situation for the keeper there. Very well done by Matthews and Purnell.
That's what Jay was talking about, that poise and order in the chaos. Matthews expressed it there. Tanner Smith now. His pass goes high, deflects off of Hathaway's stick, and Fletcher comes up with the loose ball. That was a big goal right there for the Bulldogs, but now they turn it over. You know, Exeter had a long settled possession, hit the pipe a couple of times.
Just not getting easier looks, it seems like, for Exeter. You know, the shots they were getting, I mean, yeah, even the pipe, that was a 15-yard shot. He had him beat, but, you know, the chances of that shot are just a little bit less than at least the shots that Bedford's getting downhill, inside, good looks. I think that's really the situation for the game here.
Yeah, and you're going to give up shots. It's the game of lacrosse, as we see one there, Corey.
We see a nice, easy one inside.
But that's the point, is you got to give up hard shots, not easy ones like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's the first real breakdown we've seen on the Bulldogs defense in a 6-on-6 situation. Lazowitz right across to a naked Tyler Bland on the backside. And I mean coverage, not clothing. 7:01 left here in the game. The Bulldogs ahead 15-11. Nice conversion by the Blue Hawks to pull it back to within 4.
Yeah, and this is the part of the game where face-off X really matters. Dylan Riccio can ice this game a bit, take some time off the clock with some clean face-off pickups.
Got possession there, tried to scoop it ahead to Matthews, but it went too far high. The battle at midfield is won by Green. His pass near side goes high, and they turn it over. The chaos led to chaos, not order there. Sheridan will pick it up near side and look to clear.
I mean, if I'm Bedford, I'm thinking about making sure almost that I get to keep it in on my offensive possessions. Take a minute or 2 minutes left. You can shorten the game down to 4 possessions here. You know, certainly don't stop doing anything.
Maybe stop driving through 3 players when you're up 4 goals, but
maybe that, sure. But you can get the ball settled, find your look, but take your time here.
Sam Durso comes up with a ground ball, and Coach Bordeaux takes a phenomenal timeout right there to preserve possession. 6:20 to go in this game. The Bulldogs ahead 15-11. See the replay here as Durso sees the ball squirt out of that.
He got that timeout about maybe a millisecond before that, and I'm surrounded by two defenders here as normal for my lacrosse career, but about 1 second before he got that pass off, called the timeout. Nice little call there. Again, keeps the possession, keeps the ball, as we were talking about, Jay. You could probably get away with 3 possessions in this game if you can keep it in and hold on to the ball from the face-off X. Little tough of a mountain to climb for Exeter. They got to push out and not give up any more goals and get the ball down on the offensive end.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing about high school sports. We can sit up here, us old guys, having 20/20 hindsight, but I agree completely with you. But in the heat of the moment, you get to see them, running, pushing hard, trying to get that extra play. And so Coach Bordeaux, the Oracle there, you could feel that timeout coming, because I think right now he's telling his team, hey, folks, 4 goals up. We're doing a great job. Let's finish this strong.
Keep doing what you're doing. We don't have to press, but if there's open spots there, let's take them. And we'll see these adjustments as the last 6:20 unfolds here from Bedford High School. Another quick update. We also have a second 100 career goal scorer in this same game, as Luke Purnell, the junior attackman, has also eclipsed the century mark in career goals. So congratulations to Luke Purnell. 2 in 1 game, kind of an unusual situation for the Bulldogs, but also illustrates this prolific offense that Coach Bordeaux is enjoying this year. Helton near side. Poke checks here from Caracciolo. 2-person game, as coming high is Kaliza. Matthews now runs through 3, shot gets blocked. Out of the pack is Tanner Smith. Phenomenal ground ball, dodges 3 and 4 and now 5 defenders. Nobody's going to stop him. He's going to take it to the cage. Need to slide the body, boys, but he misses. Smith's shot is backed up behind by Hathaway. As a defenseman, you see him run through 6 people, you got to slide to body, right?
Speaking of making me feel old.
Yeah, he's just too good for those types of checks. You really have to get in front of him, especially with the big Bedford defenders. Someone's got to go body to body and at least stop him from taking an upright shot.
The Blue Hawks back it up behind. 5:20 to go in the game. They trail by 4. Back into a 6-on-6 settled situation. Shot gets blocked down in the middle. Delory. Now Riccio comes out with it. Puts it back in the crease for Fletcher. Fletcher near side. Sheridan will climb the ladder here. Soden. He'll leg it out. Steps it in. You hear the players yelling, yellow, let's settle down. Let's get our substitutions on. Let's take care of this ball. We don't need to run a Princeton basketball offensive 4 corners, but let's be calm in our approach. Gaffney runs away from Smith. Long pass here. Purnell deflects it. Battles for it. Gets pushed. I think he called it was out of bounds, but he was mistaken here. The official called it out of bounds. It was not out of bounds, as we're playing the Black Lions. I think we'll have to go to an alternate possession, which it seems like is pointing Bedford's way as the officials confer with each other from 60 yards away. A lot situation there.
Heat of the moment, right? Bedford here, football school, is I think won another state championship last year, so,
They did indeed, 2 in a row. Senior midfield defender Dylan Soden would confirm that, as would Brody Helton. With the ball here, Bennett Matthews, Spencer Henrichon. Probably forgetting one or two others that played on that championship football team, but congratulations again to them for taking home their second straight state championship.
If no one else noticed, it was nice for the parents in the stands to politely let him know that he had made the wrong call.
Everybody's a referee.
I'm not sure I would use that word politely. Matthews, spinning shot backhander, sails high. Kaliza, Johnny on the spot behind for the backup. So important to keep one of those attackmen behind to back up these shots. Helton drives hard, middle, scores.
Yeah, really almost a carbon copy of what we saw with Gaffney. Got under his defender, was able to shield with that big body and speed though, get the corner, just kept it in his right hand to get a better angle and buried it near side.
Good job keeping his stick right in front of him, doesn't it open it up, pops it up his head, above his head for the last possible second, but if you're going to get checked there, you're probably going to draw a penalty. Well done. And that's what, the good point of what we were just talking about is they did settle it. They did try to settle it down a little bit, but he saw an opening, he took it and scored. Don't stop what you're doing, but maybe slow it down just a wee bit.
Another crafty play there by Helton in that finish. As he was a righty, you would have expected it to come back over his right shoulder. He didn't bring it back. He kept it in front of his face and actually almost over his left shoulder with a twister there. Finished nicely. Puts the Bulldogs up 5, 16-11. Now Green will fire. Fletcher save. Outlet pass high and away. Purnell corrals it. Presses the issue. Draws some attention. Now he pulls it out.
He's looking for that 101st goal, I think. But,
yeah, I'm not quite sure what his total tally is. He has 4 on the day. He might already be above that 100. But yeah, he thought he would press a little bit. We have a flag down now. Back behind the play as Matthews fires one high and away. Looks like we might have an offside, so 30-second penalty on the Blue Hawks. Bulldogs, have they had a man-up play this?
I think this is their
first extra man opportunity.
I believe it is their first one. Exeter's had maybe 4.
So we'll start from behind. Sam Baird, back left of Burnage. Bulldogs will work it around the outside. And second pass gets tipped away. That was Nicholas getting a stick on it. And now Smith runs through Matthews. Has some space. Looks to drop. You heard the players yelling, body, body. Don't let him run all the way to the cage yet again. Helton checks the back stick in. And I believe Exeter was offside again. Oh no, it was over and back. Over and back. Helton feeds inside. Kaliza finishes. Helton gets his first assist. Kaliza gets the Hattie. Bulldogs go up 17-11.
Just good job playing the next whistle. Ready to go, ball's there, pick it up, find the open guy. Exeter a little delayed in getting for that next whistle. Little high fake, little shoulder fake, bounce it, one-on-one with a goalie.
And that seemingly will put this game out of reach. 6 goals in 2-12 seems a bit far-fetched. The Bulldogs squeaked one out last week in Exeter. Now they're going to have, I wouldn't say a convincing, but a solid win here against the Blue Hawks at home. They'll extend their record to 12-1. Blue Hawks will likely fall to 9-5. Tanner Smith still going 100 miles an hour, breaking through a double team on that far sideline right in front of the Bulldogs bench. He'll fire. Possession shot. Backed up behind by Hathaway. Thank you again to the BCTV crew, producing Andrew Fenn, also providing camera angles. Up top, Bill Jennings on the camera. Dale Bird back in the studio. Shot here beats Fletcher near side. Lazowitz. That's his second on the day.
That's probably about the 4th or 5th time that Fletcher could have gone there, and a couple he's executed on. Watch, he's just a little too high here on the defensive side, breaks him down, seemingly down the alley because his defender is in so far. Good placement, good shot, well done. They're talking about it now.
Yeah, hey, you know what? You got me.
You're right.
You beat me near side, over my shoulder. Good shot. That's where you have to tip your hat. Again, every once in a while. You don't like to do it frequently, but
last goal scored by number 1, Derek Cleesa.
Smith goes for the over the head. Riccio. Gaffney. Again, please pay attention to upcoming broadcasts. We have the boys lacrosse team next Monday. They will take on the visiting Merrimack Tomahawks at 5:30 p.m. Driving hard now, getting stoned. Burnich inside. J.J. Gaffney does not get it to go. Caracciolo, takes a good shot. They get the ball on the ground, and that's what you need. Slide to the body, boys. Purnell. Cleesa will take it behind. BCTV will also carry the softball game against Manchester West Trinity on Wednesday, May 22nd. First pitch at 4 p.m. And then we will be into playoff season that following week after Memorial Day as spring sports get into tournament time. Boys, closing thoughts here. Jay, what do you take away from this game?
Yeah, it's hard to play the same team 2 times in a week, really. And Bedford was able to keep up the momentum and, really came out strong, brought it to Exeter. Still had, again, we'll talk about chaos, had a few sloppy plays, but was able to really keep the pedal down and impose their will on Exeter. So really nice job. I will, though, say that Burnich had a really nice game in goal for Exeter.
Todd, closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think, Bedford did an excellent job at 6-on-6 defense. That coupled with just some man-ups for Exeter that didn't go, I think that was the difference in the game. 6-on-6 D for Bedford, and again, they should be shooting at least 50%, 60% on man-up. Bedford did a good job man down as well.
Couple of scoring updates for the end of the game here. Luke Purnell again with 4 goals. He eclipsed the 100 mark. 4 goals also for Brody Helton. Bennett Matthews 3-3. He also eclipsed the 100 career goal mark in this game. 3 for Cleesa, 1 for Dylan Riccio and 2 for J.J. Gaffney. For the Blue Hawks, 3 goals for Jackson Green, 2 for Marshall Lazowitz, 2 for Andrew Nicholas, the pole putting it in the net. Delory, Tanner Smith, Tyler Bland, each with 1. Hathaway also had 2. That'll round it out for their 12 goals. Final score again, 17-12 as the Bulldogs take home victory tonight. Next broadcast will be next Monday against the Merrimack Tomahawks. We hope you'll join us on BCTV. Thank you again to Jay Abendraw, Todd Koss here in the booth. Producing, Andrew Fenn up top, Bill Jennings on the camera, Dale Bird back in the studio. I'm Corey Munster-Tiger. We'll see you next time on BCTV.